Welcome back, guys. I appreciate your viewership. From this point on, I do think it's important that, before we move forward, we cover the many basics of male-female relations. As Confucius once said, the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper names. So it's my opinion that it's good to practice examining and re-examining the information that we've come to accept to be true. So let's start at the beginning of the concept I'll call for now the male-female archetype. From a human evolutionary standpoint, the division into separate sexes is directly tied to its ability to survive and propagate the species. The female half, given the biological equipment that she inherited, had been given the task of growing and bearing the progeny, as well as caring for them into a capable age and awareness. Due to the nutritional, labor, and safety needs, they require a supporter to assist them during the motherhood years. This is where the male half comes in. The male half of the species does not have the biological equipment to house and bear children. So, he looks to the female half to do it for him. Once he has chosen a female, the female will need the male to pursue food, prepare shelter, and protect her and the future children from potential dangers. It's from this arrangement that, up until recently, we have come to know as the family unit is formed. It's here that the male half has developed physical, mental, and emotional traits that typically exceeds the female half. This helps the male half gain the ability to provide that with what the female needs for their children. From that, females acquire the preference for males who display physical, or through acquisition, the ability to provide the basic needs for them to raise their progeny successfully. This in turn created a codependent relationship between the male and female side of the human species. There's no overstating this impact this has on the entire race. Consider everything that we have come to be, how our cities and countries are put together, how our technologies and innovations have come to pass, how our cultural and religious practices came to be accepted. Everything that is the human race derives from the human union of the male and female archetype. Without this, none of us would even be here. In short, the whole purpose of the existence of the male archetype and the female archetype and the roles is to create the next progeny. Now, up until the early 20th century, this arrangement worked out remarkably well, as human beings have become the most dominant species ever, and they have the power to shape the entire world into their own image. So, why is the 20th century the turning point? It's at this point that we started seeing countries in the Western world give the women the power to effect legal and social changes through governmental policies. By having politicians appeal to their vote, women have the collective will to enable policies that appeal to the evolutionary biological engineered desires stemming from their female archetype. Women no longer need their male counterparts when they can simply vote in the policies they prefer. Why appeal to men to provide resources when welfare and diversity policies can be applied? Why appeal to men to provide homes when Section 8 housing and the abusive manipulation of the mortgage market is deemed acceptable? Why appeal to men for safety when predatory interest groups can put in destructive policies that ruin the family court or put into effect laws that get men in trouble for frivolous reasons? Men are no longer able to hold on to their prime position as the male archetype of the family unit, and the women's regard for them as the other half of the human race has declined precipitously. All of human society and its effects are the result of the formation of the family unit. Now, because of one change in the law books that, as a consequence, caused a domino effect that no one responsible took into account, this arrangement is effectively dead. If the purpose of the family unit is to create children, and a simple law upturns this equation, then this ultimately wipes out any legitimate reason for the male archetype to exist. So, if that's the case, why do men continue to get married to play this dead role? I'll delve into this subject matter on my next video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you also for subscribing, hitting that bell, leaving a like, and leaving a comment on your take on the male-female archetype. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and stay tuned.